in that last segment, we talked about escaping the heat. Well, humans can do that, but what about our pets? You may remember last summer, a dog died during a horrible heat wave. She had been tethered by a chain in a backyard with no protection from the sun. It generated outrage in the community. It also generated Lily's Law, strengthening animal cruelty laws. Now, it did not happen in the city limits of Las Vegas, but our city leaders took action to strengthen our animal cruelty laws as well. The heat in Las Vegas is not only uncomfortable, it can be deadly. In August of 2020, during a heat wave, a dog named Lily became the victim of that scorching sun and died while chained in her backyard. Outraged residents protested, creating Lily's Law in other jurisdictions.
As you'll note on page 1 for the council member's copy, I pointed out in yellow the request that we received at the last council meeting from citizens for a proposed First Amendment.
And although it did not happen in Las Vegas city limits, our city leaders made a bold move at the May 5th City Council meeting to make sure it never does by passing Bill 2021-14. Strengthening the laws pertaining to tethering pets outdoors in the heat and seeing to it that anyone who harms or kills an animal in any way be forbidden from having a pet for 5 years. The vote came after an outpouring of public input, read by our city clerk, Luann Holmes, and Assistant City Attorney Jeff Doracak.
Too many animals have suffered these harsh injustices, and it really takes a mental toll on all of us who are called upon to assist animals who don't deserve these life sentences of torture and abuse by people who are supposed to love and take care of them.
Please help protect our animals, create consistency across Southern Nevada by limiting tethering of animals to 10 hours in a 24-hour period, as Clark County and NLV have adopted locally. While our hope is that every dog would share a home with his or her human family, we understand that this is not always the case, so it is important that dogs who live outdoors be protected.
I would further encourage you to prohibit contact with animals for those who are convicted of certain misdemeanors cruelty charges. It is incumbent upon us to do better for our valley's pet population, and we know that societies are judged by how they treat the most vulnerable among them. Next to our children, seniors, and veterans, our animals must depend upon us and you, the elected officials, to keep them safe.
The bill was supposed to be voted on at the previous meeting, but council chose to obey it so they could add to it based on public feedback. Here is where the ordinance stands now. It gives municipal court judges the power to prohibit a convicted animal abuse defendant from possessing any animal, residing in any household where an animal is present, or working or volunteering anywhere where they might have access to animals for a period of up to 4 years. If an animal dies from that defendant's abuse, the same holds true, but up to 5 years instead of 4. Pets can only be tethered outdoors 10 out of 24 hours. That's down from 14 hours out of 24. When the temperature reaches 105 degrees, there must be 2 sources made available to an outdoor pet, such as a kiddie pool, swamp cooler, or misting system. When the National Weather Service issues an excessive heat advisory, no dog is to be tethered outdoors. It took very little time and no opposition from any of the council members for the bill to pass unanimously.
Motion, of course, carries.
We might also add leaving pets in the car or in the back of a truck is also against the rules. You should never leave a pet or a child in a hot car, even with the windows cracked. It will get hot in there quickly and dangerously, and within minutes can be deadly.